I want you to get a copy, get an opportunity to be one of the first 100 to get a free copy of my book. If you go to bit.ly/ the big quit 2022, bit.ly/ the big quit 2022, to the first 100 people in honor of my anniversary, I'm giving away a copy of my free book. Listen, the hardest part about quitting your job is being different. That is the hardest part about quitting a job. I remember, and I'm celebrating my 8 year of being free. The freedom is amazing. I tell people, even the worst day as an entrepreneur does not compare to the best day of a job. It does not. And the hardest part about quitting your job is being different. Why? Because everybody else is going to work. And a lot of people claim that they're entrepreneurs and they still work a part-time job, or they're still, transitioning out of a job. But I'm talking about to be able to quit a job and stay free for years without any threat of going back. The biggest thing that you have to struggle with is being different. We were taught, good morning, Gene, I've been trying to get you. We've been taught to work a job. We were taught that that's the thing to do. And so, in spite of all the layoffs, in spite of being underpaid, in spite of being overworked, in spite of being underappreciated, what do we do? Good morning, Miss Verlin. We keep going to a job. And if you even look at the math, why would anybody get paid 12 times a year, 24 times a year, and when they could get paid every day? Especially the way things have changed. But the truth of the matter is, we were taught to get a job. Good morning, Miss Transformation. And that's what we stick with. And the only thing that is keeping you at a job, or only thing keeping you from being free, is you. That's it. It's a mindset shift. When you get in your mind, because it's not work. Let's just be honest. There's nothing about being an entrepreneur that's harder than you working for somebody else, other than maybe the discipline. But I feel like most people have it. Good morning, Small Business Esquire. I feel like most people have the discipline, because if you can get up and make your way to a job every day, a job doesn't come knock on your door, a job doesn't call and wake you up. And I know people that have the discipline to work at a job for years and years. Years they work at a job. So if they can work at a job, they can work for themselves. If they got the focus to work at a job, if you can work at a job for years and years, you can surely work for yourself. But I think it boils down to belief. Do you believe that you can be free? And then you got to want it with every piece of your being. And anybody that tells you it's easy, it's not true. But it's easier than working a job for the rest of your life. If I had to change the clock back, would I do things differently? I would. I'm writing a new book called The New Freedom Formula. And there's so many things I would have done differently. I would have had my startup capital in order before I started. I would have increased my prices. I would have started out charging more. But I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought I had to make my pricing this whole, I'm going to start low and build up, and I got to build my credibility. And none of that is true. None of that is true. So I wish that I would have done things differently. But like Maya Angelou say, I can't take nothing from my journey now. Nothing. So it's a real thing. We work a job because we're comfortable. Because there's nothing that a job can give you that being an entrepreneur can't give you. A lot of people tell me, oh, I work my job because of insurance. And again, guys, if you want to be one of the first 100 to claim a copy of my book, go to bit.ly/ the big Quit 2022 and download a free copy. I'm going to be sending out that book today. I'm going to be sending out, my team will be sending out that book this week to the first 100 people. But, you know, the truth of the matter is, if you get your startup capital in order before you leave, you never have to go back. That's true. You need a high ticket product before you leave. That's true. You got to collaborate with somebody to build an audience before you leave. A lot of people say, oh, the Lord told me to quit. The girl, did the Lord tell you? Did the Lord really come down from on high and tell you without a plan to quit your job? Because that's not the Lord I know. The Lord I know says faith without works is dead. The Lord I know says write the vision and make it plain. A lot of entrepreneurs don't even have a vision. And if you want my quit assessment, send me a DM and we can get on the phone and we can talk about how close you are to quitting your job. But the truth of the matter is, you can quit at any time as long as you can afford to. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, wow, you can quit your job at any time as long as your money says so. So if you're making enough money to leave your job, you can. I have people tell me, well, what am I going to do for health insurance? Girl, if you're making enough money, you will buy your own health insurance. Let me let you guys in to, good morning, Alonzo, a little known secret. That is, your job does not pay for your health benefits for you. Is anybody surprised by that? Your job does not. They submit the money on your behalf. They negotiate a lower rate because they're bringing so many people to the table. But your job does not provide health insurance. They take that money out of what they would have paid you, and they claim it as part of your benefits. Is that a wow for anybody? Your job does not pay for health insurance. It doesn't. Your job says, okay, if you make $50,000 a year, your health insurance is $5,000 a year. We're going to take that out of your $50,000 a year. And we're going to pay you $45,000. Alonzo said, I sell insurance, especially life, but I tell people that all the time. It's called adverse selection. They get a lower price as the medium age of all employees. Yes. So yes, they argue a discounted rate for you. And Alonzo said, and like you said, is written off as an employee benefit and a tax write-off for the company. How dirty is that? How dirty is that, that not only are they going to charge you for the health insurance, but they're going to get a tax write-off. So that is the nature of a job. There is nothing at a job that is created to benefit you. Not the hours, not the working condition, not the bureaucracy, not the red tape, not the pay system, not the promotion system. None of that. None of that is created to serve you. And I remember for years, literally, knowing that I was capable of promotion. Knowing that I was capable of more pay. Knowing that more other people made more than me and did less work. Knowing that I should have been the supervisor because they had me training. If you could do training at your job, you could do training as an entrepreneur. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, wow. If you can train people on your job, you can train people as an entrepreneur. Whatever you do at work, you can come out here and build a business. Does everybody agree with that? Whatever you like to do, you can come out here and build it. Girl, the world, the money in the world is so fluid right now. The opportunities in the world are so big. But, you know, we act like we're a different person. When they ask you to do things at work, you step up, you volunteer, you meet these unreasonable deadlines with unfathomable lack of resources. You get it done at work. If you get it done at work, why can't you get it done as an entrepreneur? And it boils down to mindset. Sometimes you don't know exactly what step to take next. Send me a DM. Let's have a conversation about where are you in the journey and what you really need. He said Michael Moore did a documentary on it in 2009 where places like Amegy Bank got more than $5 million in death benefits from employees and their families got nothing. You know, it's a true story. Your benefits are sitting over there with your employer, and your employer has life insurance on you. I bet you didn't know that. The mass amount of employers take out life insurance policies on the people that work there. So if something was to happen to you, the money's not going to go to the family. Alonzo said Michael Moore did a documentary about these companies and how much money they get when you die, but your family doesn't get the money. Jobs are not created for you though, baby. If you're sitting there waiting on a job to be fair, you're going to keep waiting. So again, I'm celebrating 8 years being free. I'm rededicating myself to people who really want to leave the job. If you go to bit.ly/the big quit 2022, you can download a free copy of my book. It's called The Quit Conspiracy. I'm coming out with a new book called The New Freedom Formula, because the way you leave a job now and the way you left the job when I did has changed. It has changed tremendously. Some of you guys, I've been begging you for years to get your plan together to leave your job. These internet streets have changed. The doors of opportunity have changed. It's the Big Quit 2022. People's view of the internet has changed, and COVID sped all that up. So where before the internet was still this place where people would go and be amazed, but a lot of people they burnt out on the internet now. They've seen it all. Do you guys agree with that? They've seen it all. There's nothing magical. There's nothing special. They got people on every corner teaching them how to do everything in the world. So, you know, and they believe that they're going to learn from those people. So the tide is still out, but it's going to come back in. And when it comes back in and they realize that some of those people are not what they said they were, and now they need tools, and now they need resources, you need to be ready. But you can't be ready if you're working a job. So guys, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff all around the country in the coming year, back outside. So, you know, I need to start asking you where you're coming in from when you come in the morning, because I'm about to do a Texas two-step. So I'll be in Dallas and multiple cities in Texas, and then I'm going to be on the East Coast And then this fall, I'll be in the South. So no matter where you are, I'm going to be somewhere in your city. Make sure you don't miss out and make sure you catch me. But the truth of the matter is, when you are ready to truly do what it takes, and I don't mean just work hard, I mean work smart. When you are ready to really leverage some strategy, when you are ready to really put a focus on freedom, then freedom is going to be right around the next corner. Freedom is going to be right around the next corner. You know, it's not a hard thing. It's just different. And that is the hardest part about it. Everybody else is going to work, sitting in traffic, reporting to a job, while the real freedom is still out here. And you can choose at any moment to take this path and run with it and never look back. I never looked back. Sometimes I even still dream about having a job. That's how ingrained being an employee is. I had a dream last night that I was at work and I kept coming to work even though I was free. And they wasn't paying me. So I had to go through this whole rigmarole, but come to find out I wasn't going to work. It hadn't been, man, it was crazy. It went all the way back to my very first job at a grocery store called Save a Lot. I was going to the grocery store, y'all. That's how ingrained and embedded working a job is on our psyche. That's just how deep we've been programmed, we've been conditioned, that's just how deep. That's just how deep that we've been taught to work a job. When actuality, jobs are not for us. They're not. And anybody can be free if they're willing to do the work. So if you haven't already gone and downloaded a copy of my new book, of my first 100 copies, bit.ly/The Big Quit 2022. We're going to be sending those out this week. Be on the lookout for my new book, The New Freedom Formula, because I'm going to give it to you. Everything you need to do to leave a job. But will you do it? You know, there's no shortage of individuals who will work. There's a shortage of real people who are willing to take their own skills, their own talents, and turn them into generational wealth. All right. So I'm going to have a great day, guys. I'm going to be back around noon talking to you about charging your prices, because that's another critical piece in being able to leave your job. And that is charging enough. And I think I'm calling the new freedom formula, because there are some new rules in the game that we must all abide by. Love you guys. Have a great morning.